Welcome to Dogs with Rich. I'm Rich, and in this video, we're going to teach you how to create the structure necessary for feeding a pack of multiple dogs. Whenever you're feeding a pack of dogs, it's really important that we don't allow any competition, that we maintain control over the food and the space, and that we really structurize the way we feed these dogs. This will eliminate any unhealthy competition, it will stop the dogs from going from dish to dish, and it will rule out the opportunity for any of the dogs to get into a fight. Let's get started right after this. So if we have multiple dogs, it's really important that we maintain control over the activity of feeding. Feeding is one of the two primary things that really can have a deep, innate response from a dog. I always tell people feeding and breeding can cause some pretty deep reactions from dogs, whether we're dealing with food aggression or whether we're dealing with aggression related to breeding rights. So by spay and neutering your dog, it typically will eliminate the breeding issue, so then we still have the food issue. And if we have dogs that have been through times where food is scarce, or maybe they were abandoned in a backyard, and by the time they were found, they'd lost significant amounts of weight, food to them is a matter of survival. And then they get more into that survival mentality, and it can become a little bit trickier whenever we have food out around them, because they may become food aggressive towards people, or maybe they're just possessive over their food towards other dogs. So by structurizing how we feed our dogs, we're going to be able to eliminate any unhealthy competition, be able to maintain control over our pack, and we're going to control something that is super important and worth fighting for, which is the food. So we're going to start off by using our pack as a demonstration. This is my lovely wife Cassie on the right, and that's trainer Amy at the back. A couple of these dogs you'll notice, for example, Hadley, which is the puppy that Cassie's just grabbed the leash of. Hadley does not know the rules yet for our feeding exercises, which is why we put her on the leash so it's a little bit easier to control her. So if she gets up and starts moving around, anybody can grab the leash and control her. Piglet is also learning, so you'll see sometimes Cassie has to correct her and put her back in the down towards the end, which you'll see as we get there. The key is maintaining control over the entire activity. We're going to start off by putting everybody into a sit. Once everybody's into a sit, we're going to maintain that sit. Once they're maintaining that sit like that, and if you need help, have either a friend or another family member help you in enforcing this. If they stand up, grab them. No, sit. Put them back into the sit. Everybody must maintain a sit. Use consistent spots every time you feed them, and they go into that sit and they wait. You're going to have their food out. You're going to separate everything into their dishes. Then you're going to start placing the food down. As you start placing the food down, you're going to put their bowl down in front of each of the dogs, and you're going to tell them to wait. If they stand up to go for it, pull the food bowl away and say, no, sit, good girl, wait, and then go and put the food back down. Once you're able to get the food onto the floor and the dog is waiting for it, then you move to the next bowl until you have everybody's food bowl down and are getting ready to release them to eat. Now, as we release them, there's two ways you can do it. You can do a group release where you say everybody, okay, and then you allow everybody to get up and start feeding out of their bowl. Or if you want to, you can release them individually, pointing at them and then moving your hand down towards the bowl. So you'd say Alex, Winnie, Boulder, and then individually release them so that they can eat. As they start to eat, we as their pack leaders are going to be monitoring and supervising the feeding. If we recognize anything that we don't like, for example, if we see one of the dogs move over towards another dog's bowl, we immediately issue a correction. We're going to say no, grab them, get them back over towards their bowl, and then have them feed out of their bowl only. We don't allow dogs to switch back and forth between bowls, because one day if Millie keeps coming over and stealing food from Boulder, one day he's just going to decide he's not going to take it anymore, and then we're going to have a dog fight. And when, as you see in our video, you're feeding 8 dogs, it's really important that you maintain control over the activity of feeding. As you have the food down and they start eating, you're going to be monitoring, make sure there's no competition going on, everybody's focusing on their own food. And then as they start to finish, what you're going to do is you're going to take their bowl away and you're going to put them into a down. As they go into the down, they're expected to stay there, they're not allowed to move. Place the bowl onto the counter, and then you're going to wait while the others finish. Whoever's already finished has to wait in the down, and they're not allowed to get up until everybody else is finished. Once everybody else is finished and everybody is in the down, then you can release them as a group and you can say, everybody, okay, you can clap your hands, and then you're going to release them and they're all allowed to get up. Because when you do release them, there's no more food still out, there's no food bowls out or anything like that. Ideally, what I suggest is feeding them twice a day. Take whatever their food is, divide it in half, and then you're going to feed them half in the morning and you're going to feed them again half in the evening. This is good because if you have a dog that's on a specific diet, maybe senior food or medicated food, something like that, or you have to throw medications into their food bowl, you'll be able to do this and ensure that none of the other dogs are going to be eating it. If you do have a difficult dog, throw them on a leash so that you have your leash corrections. You can say no, you can grab, you can more easily control them to make sure that they maintain and learn to follow the rules. Now the first few times you do this is going to be difficult, so feel free to spread them apart 4 or 5 feet apart as you're doing this. Have another person there to help you. And then as they learn what the rules are and what your expectations are during a feeding, you can bring everybody together and then be able to do a feeding like you see in the video. Thanks so much for watching. We hope you found this video enjoyable as well as informative. If you liked the video, please hit the like. If there's somebody you know that might like it, share it to them if it's on Facebook, or send them the link if it's on YouTube. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel, and we will see you on the next one.